welcome to The Positive Side on RVNTV. I'm Ann DeSantis, your host. Great to be here, as it always is. I have a returning guest bringing two more friends from Battle4Children Charities. They're located in the greater Philadelphia area, and they're providing education and awareness for child sexual abuse, such a needed ministry. So I want to welcome Art Salvagno. He is the CEO and the founder of Battle4Children. LaQuisha Anthony is the president, and John Accunzo is the vice president. So thank you, all three of you, for being here on The Positive Side.
Thanks for having us.
So if you have your phone or your laptop, you want to check out battle4children.org and learn about what they're doing. So I thought, Art, you can just start us out with telling us about how did it start and what do you do?
Well, it started back in 2010 with the idea of putting together a battle of the Christian bands. I was working back then for the Philadelphia Police Department Special Victims Unit and handling cases such as that, child sexual abuse, human trafficking, domestic violence, all those kind of cases. And back then we've had over 2,400 cases annually in Philadelphia alone. Now it's up to over 3,000 cases annually. So children back then weren't receiving expedient services such as trauma-specific therapy. They were backlogged by maybe a month, 2 months, sometimes 3 months. So we wanted to try and expedite that by helping out funding organizations such as St. Christopher's Hospital for Children, Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, Mission Kids of Montgomery County, the Philadelphia Children's Alliance, Women Organized Against Rape, to provide services quickly so the children would be able to get the services they need and not feel like they were at fault for what occurred. So our goal was to provide those funds to build trauma-specific therapy rooms, and now we're actually providing awareness and training on Keisha's end through WAR and what she does, as well as through our efforts by providing the Battle of the Christian Bands with John Accunzo, which we started out back in 2011 with, and this is going to be our actual 9th year of doing that to raise funding and awareness.
Awesome, awesome. And I'm so happy to have you, LaQuisha, for this interview. And I know that you're involved in several different things. I wondered if you could just tell our viewers about the work that you do and also what you do with Battle4Children.
So ultimately, I am tackling sexual violence in every area that I can possibly tackle it. For Battle, I am the president, and what I do there is trying to oversee a lot of the things that we're doing to ensure that we're raising the funds that we need in order to make sure that those children have therapeutic services and locating different avenues and agencies that we might be missing that could actually use our funding. Also, I'm the founder of VOICE, which is a sexual abuse survivors network, which stands for Victory Over Inconceivable Cowardly Experiences. I'm also an advocate, and I'm also a survivor. So all of my work is pretty much surrounding sexual violence and making sure that we can end it, prevent it, and help the people who've endured that particular grueling experience.
Thank you. You're doing excellent work, and you're taking a situation that happened to yourself and going forward and helping others. So
yeah,
great work that you're doing.
Thank you.
And John, being that you're the vice president of Battle4Children, I know that you're also involved in the sold out coffee house. So can you just tell us about what you do?
Well, real briefly, Art and I met when I was doing sound at another coffee house that doesn't exist anymore. And that was the first year of the Battle of Christian Bands for Battle4Children Charities. And so I kind of took all of the knowledge that I have from running the sold out coffee house and doing its bookings to bring him the best talent we could possibly bring in every year. And also, it's a subject this is very near and dear to my heart. Children, anything related to children tugs at my heartstrings, but this is a total scourge in our society that really needs to not only be addressed and spoken about, but the children and the victims that are rescued from these horrible situations need advocacy. And I think that the three of us together spell advocacy.
That's right. And I know that you're bringing that awareness also through terrific events that you bring to the public. So I really want to talk about those events. I know that you have one in January and one in February 2020. So open up those calendars and check out Battle4Children.org. The first one is a comedy, isn't it? You're doing a comedy night? And can you tell them when that would be?
Yeah, this will be our 4th annual Clean Comedy Night at Karen's Place in Doylestown. Karen's Place is a great venue in the basement of a Mennonite church, Doylestown Mennonite Church. And that's going to be on January 18th. And we usually have about 3 comedians. We might have 4, but they are awesome comedians from the area, of the tri-state area. They could, we usually have them come in from Pennsylvania, New Jersey, or Delaware, but they do such a great time, and we pack the house. It's a free event.
Oh, it's free?
Yeah, and we take love offerings while we're there.
You have to get there. It's going to be good. And then I know the next one is February 29th. That's leap year.
Leap year.
And it's a Saturday. And that is your big event, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
so,
our flagship event, I like to call it, our Battle of the Christian Bands.
yeah. Tell us about that.
John's a good point on that one. He knows a lot about it since he's been actually spearing it.
Well, we've kind of streamlined it very well the last few years. We have 5 bands. And the whole thing with Battle, when you think of Battle of the Bands, you think of back in high school or college,
yes.
where it was kind of like just for bragging rights. What we do is we use battle as an operative word, as I'm getting the very best bands to come together with the 3 of us and do battle against child sexual abuse. And so we have the very best bands in the area. Each one gets to do 5 of their songs. Sometimes they'll let them do a cover or 2. And then they're graded by the audience as well as our team of celebrity judges.
Oh, okay.
And at the end of the night, we give out a wonderful prize of studio time at a place called Junction Music in Huntington Valley, Pennsylvania, with a Miss Diane Zako, who was one of the people instrumental in starting the career of Boyz II Men.
Oh.
And she gives that studio time, and one of the
That's a
bands
big
took
thing.
advantage of that, recorded an entire EP just in the time they got, and were able to open for Mercy Me as a result of that EP.
Amazing. Now, is there a ticket fee for Battle for the Battle?
That is also free. Yeah, it's being held again at the
Free.
Ben Salem United Methodist Church, and the last 3 years, John, I think,
Yes.
we've made it free to the public.
That's correct.
And we raise funding through auctions, whether it be silent, a live auction, 50-50 chances, as well as love offerings.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I know we were talking also before this show that there might be some businesses out there or someone who would like to place an ad in the program. So how does that work? And also, is there a need then for those silent auction items? Do you have a need for, I'm sure you do, right?
We always do. We're always looking and accepting anything from the public that they can give us that we could put. They can contribute a full basket if they want to. We're also, as well as gift cards from restaurants, whatever they may be. And we're always looking. They could contact us by going to Battle4Children.org and just go on our email list there and just reach out to us, and we'll be happy to contact them with their information, and we'll have someone pick them up, or they can just deliver it directly to us.
Sounds really good. Now, you also, I know you're in the greater Philadelphia area. So which areas do you find that you're serving within your, whoever wants to answer that one?
Well, I'm going to pass that on to LaQuisha because she does a lot of great work with the training part of
So
things.
we're serving pretty much PA.
Okay.
And we identify different centers around the state. And those are the centers that we say are providing well service to children that have experienced sexual violence. And those centers are the centers, some that are in Philadelphia and some that are on the outskirts of Philadelphia area. So it does not matter where you are. If there is a crisis center or a center that provides therapeutic services for sexual violence to children, we're interested in knowing who they are. Maybe they can be added to the list of the agencies in which we provide funding for. So we're open to the entire PA.
That's good. Good to know.
And it is important that we do it throughout Pennsylvania, but it's also important that we do it outside of Pennsylvania.
Okay.
That's where I come in with my friend Rich Jeffes or sometimes solo, me on guitar. And we just did a tour of 3 weeks going from Baltimore, Virginia, Tennessee, and all the way through Canada back to Pennsylvania, and made awareness through our playing our own original Christian music, as well as some cover tunes you would hear on the radio as well. And we've raised over $30,000, not for Battle4Children, but for the child advocacies in those areas.
Excellent, excellent. Now, we do have to take a break. There's so much more to talk about. This is a great show. So we'll see you in a few minutes on the positive side on RVN TV.
Is a platform for people of any industry to share their story. Over 285,000 viewers are tuning in to RVNTV shows monthly. We guarantee a great experience that you'll be sharing with everyone you know while increasing your personal and company's brand awareness. But what is your brand? According to Forbes, it's a combination of your logo, your product, your design and feel, and your personality. Did you know that aside from being a guest, we offer even more opportunity to boost your brand? Adding your company logo and website on screen during your interview will allow viewers to recognize your brand instantly. Incorporating images and video clips is another great way to showcase your product during your live segment. Let viewers see how good you really are. And most importantly, there's you and your interview. For less than the cost of a newspaper, direct mail, or a magazine ad, you can leave our studio and within 48 hours have a permanent digital copy of your live segment to link to your social media, embed into your company website, or use in email marketing. Investing in your brand is so very important, and we can't wait to have you as a guest.
Shelter dogs aren't broken. They've simply experienced more life. If they were human, we would call them wise. They would be the ones with tales to tell and stories to write, the ones dealt a bad hand who responded with courage. Do not pity a shelter dog. Adopt one.
Welcome back to The Positive Side on RVN TV with my guest from Battle4Children. They are doing awareness and education for child sexual abuse, and they're doing something about it by their events and also by a terrific website and outreach. So thank you so much. I have again Art Salvagno. He's the CEO and also the founder. I have LaQuisha Anthony, who is the president, and John Accunzo, who is the vice president. So right at the break, John and I were chatting a little bit about his radio program. So I wondered if you can tell those watching about that program.
Well, originally it was Art and I had a show called Sunday Worship and Talk with Art and John. And Art is now in the musical field, as we was telling you, doing small tours and raising money and awareness for what we do. And so what I was able to do is spin the show into a radio backup, if you will, for the Coffee House Ministry, the Sold Out Coffee House. So the show is now called Sold Out. And what we do is we continue the efforts to get the word out about Battle4Children Charities via that radio platform, which is currently reaching anywhere between 4 and 6 million listeners in about 10 countries. And so we're really excited about that because we could continue where Art and I left off, but then take it to the next level, as well as showcasing many of the artists that appear at the Battle of the Christian Bands.
Yeah, you're doing excellent work, so thank you. And again, is it, I know that, so it's Sold Out Coffee House,
yes,
correct?
SOULED, Sold Out Coffee House.
And didn't you tell me recently that I know you're looking for a new place to hold some of the events?
Yes, one thing about Sold Out, it's a para-ministry. That means we partner with a host church to conduct our monthly coffee house. And right now we're in transition. This is like not uncommon in 18 years that we've been in existence, which is almost unheard of for a Christian coffee house. We've been in 4 locations. So our current agreement is about to end in December. And so in January, we're looking to take the wonderful schedule that I have for January and move it to another venue. So we're looking for a new host venue.
So if you're watching, be sure to keep your ears and eyes open if you know of a church in the greater Philadelphia area that might like to host that. So also we were talking about some of the signs that a parent or a grandparent or even the child themselves in dealing with child sexual abuse. Wondered if you could share that with us. What are some of those warning signs and what they can do about it?
Well, one main sign is you have a child who's all of a sudden going from being an A student to an F student, sort of regressing in a sense, hiding herself or himself in their bedrooms, or maybe you went to go hug them or something and they step back, whatever it may be. And so that's some of the signs right there. There are a lot of signs, but they're pretty much the major signs. Maybe they don't want to be face-to-face with an individual or a family member that have come into the house. The person may come into the house and they may say, "May I be excused," or just run off to their bedroom, whatever it may be, because that person may be the person who has victimized them.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Could you add to that, LaQuisha?
Yeah, and then another way in order for us, I work a lot on the prevention side, is to teach our children what to do if an event that someone did do something to them. Telling them who should touch them in particular places and why should those people touch them. Letting them know that there are people who, like their parents, might help to wash them up. That's okay, but if someone is touching you outside of those realms, then this is what you should do. Maybe you should tell an adult about that. Don't keep it a secret. Also, another thing that parents can do is teaching their children the anatomically correct names of their body parts.
Okay.
Ultimately, we find a lot of times where a parent might tell them, "Hey, your pocketbook," or calling it a nickname, and when that child is actually disclosing to someone that might not be the parent, that person might not understand that that is the actual disclosure because they're saying someone touched my pocketbook. So we want to make sure that children know the correct names of their private areas.
Now, that makes sense, and I'm glad that you said it, because that is an awareness then. That is one of the awareness things, to really know.
We actually had, when I was doing investigations, we had a child disclose that her stepfather, put his pencil in her pencil case. It actually was a pencil going in a pencil case, but she also associated that with a sexual act.
Okay. Wow.
And the investigation found that that's exactly what occurred.
Okay. Yeah. Well, this is good for us to discuss. So, especially for those watching, to hear it, so that if something happens in your neighborhood or in your own family, you're aware. How about within neighborhoods too? Is there things that with human trafficking that people should keep an eye out, like within neighborhoods or communities?
There is a website in Pennsylvania, and I'm sure there's one in New Jersey too, that you can go on. I don't know that off the top of my head. You may know it, possibly.
I don't know the website for them, but also one, to just be aware to check the listings that are in your neighborhood, the Megan's Law listing, but also monitoring social media and apps that your children are utilizing, because those are the areas that many people who are sex trafficking now are luring children via technology now. And then also looking out for those that are luring children off the streets. So stranger danger, letting them know, don't approach anyone's car. If someone wants to give you candy or whatever the case may be, just knowing the grooming tactics that happen, and also being aware that that they are in secure places when going for a job or things of that nature. Those are not going to a friend's house without someone knowing that you're going to a friend's house. Not meeting up with your friends in other areas where a place that you might not be familiar with, because that could be a trap of some sort.
Yeah, and secrets aren't good. A lot of perpetrators will definitely turn around and try to say to a child, "This is a secret between you and I."
Okay.
So you have to let your child know that secrets aren't good. There's no secrets. There aren't any secrets at all. Some people will say, "Well, I'm your father, I'm your mother. We can keep this secret between us." Secrets aren't good.
Okay.
So we have to make sure they're aware of that.
So good that you're sharing. So, this is a difficult discussion, but it needs to be talked about. But the good news is they're doing something about it with their advocacy, education with Battle4Children.org. So, thank you. Now, you have an affiliation I'd like to talk to you about. It's Holy Land Christian Foundation from Paradise, PA. I wondered if you could tell our viewers about your affiliation there.
Absolutely. During my tour, musical tour, came across the individual who's the founder of a DJ. His initials are, and his name is actually, that's what he goes by. But a great guy, he's a contractor as well, a architect, and he built this from ground up in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, Paradise, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It's a Christian foundation as well. And after playing there a couple times over the past 2 years, he asked if he could basically come board with us and do the same and provide awareness about child sexual abuse and human trafficking. So he has joined forces with us, and he is looking to build also a Holy Land in not only there in Lancaster County, but also in Philadelphia. So he's presently looking to build either buy a church or purchase a building down in Philadelphia, where he will host an outreach program there for individuals who were victimized, as well as the homeless, and as well as provide a home for Battle for Children as well, for the Battle of the Christian Bands, as well as Sold Out Coffee House.
Hey, that's a good affiliation. Say hi to him out there. DJ, right?
DJ.
Yes, hello DJ, thanks for your good work. And I know that there was a big billboard too. You sent me the billboard that announced that the affiliation with Battle for Children.
He has put himself out there with a couple of billboard companies and has listed over 30 billboards in the Pennsylvania area, from Philadelphia down to
30?
Lancaster.
Oh, I didn't know that many.
Yes, they're all digital. And he has Holy Land, now supports Battle4Children.org and Battle4Children Charities, and asks for donations on the billboard.
I think it's a real step forward for your charity. Really, it is.
Thank you.
It's a big step forward. So. Now let's go back. I know that we're already almost finished with the show. Unfortunately, we have so much more to talk about. Just to emphasize again that the main thing that you can do as a viewer is, if you live in the greater Philadelphia area or South Jersey, is to come to some of these awesome free events and support Battle for Children. So we have January 18th.
January 18th for the Clean Comedy Night.
Clean Comedy Night. And the place again?
Karen's Place in Doylestown.
Doylestown, PA. And then the big one, which is
February 29th, and that's the Battle of the Christian Bands, which is our leap year day, like February 29th.
February 29th.
At
and what
Ben Salem
time?
United Methodist Church. And that starts at 5 p.m. in the evening and usually ends at 9 p.m.
Okay. And so you don't need to go get dinner before. They're going to have plenty of food,
Plenty
right?
of food.
And plenty of items for silent auction, which you can help that way is by bidding on a silent auction item, or if you have something, if you have a gift basket or a card for
to donate,
supermarket or something to donate, go to Battle4Children.org. Now, we do have to end just like I predicted, unfortunately, but they do have to come back. They're doing such awesome work.
Thank you.
So as difficult as this discussion has been, I just think there's so much hope, and I thank all three of you, John, LaQuisha, and Art.
Thank you.
Thank you for being a guest on the positive side of RVNTV.
Thank you for having us.
So we will see
It's our
you
pleasure.
next time. Have a great day.